What's up, everyone? This is your Ticket2Reality, ready to talk some reality television. My name is TJ Zwarich, editor-in-chief of Agents of Fandom.com, joined as always by my fellow agents, Ryan, Lee, and Emma. Lee Swift, of course, is the season 2 finalist of Netflix's The Circle, and we have a very special guest today. We've been talking the ultimatum, queer love, and we're going to be talking The Bachelorette coming up soon. But in the meantime, we got a guest from a wonderful, wonderful show, 90 Day Fiancé. Matthew, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. How y'all doing?
Doing very well. Excited to talk about this show. And Lee, I want to throw it to you here, my man, because you helped set this up as you usually do whenever we have a wonderful guest on the show.
Matthew and I think I've mentioned this to you guys. Matthew and I actually have met in person. So, and he's you're a terrific guy, and I'm so glad we're reconnecting, and we need to be in our IRL again, but this is so great that you're here,
I know.
The first question I have for you, Matthew, is, what made you to decide to go on reality TV and kind of, because you're exposing, unlike me, I was sort of playing a game. You're exposing real stuff that's going on in your life. What drew you to that?
Well, it's funny. So I kind of applied on a gag. My friend, because I was dating a Brazilian woman, and we got engaged. And my friend was like, "Hey, you should go on 90 Day Fiancé." And I was like, "Okay, they're not going to accept me, But I was like, "All right, sure. Let me throw out the application and see what happens." So we applied for like the main 90 Day show, which is we came to find out was for couples who have already gotten their visa, and then they're resettling here in the United States. But they, someone from casting reached out and said, we have this show called 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise. It's for like couples who haven't gotten the visa yet, as they go on vacation and spend physical time together. Would y'all be interested? And I was like, let me speak to my fiance, but I think so. It sounds exciting, and I think the main reason, I don't want to speak for Anna, but the reason why I wanted to do it was because a lot of, like you said, we're exposing ourselves to the whole world. I think that nowadays people don't really fight for relationships like they should. With social media, dating apps, we just have so many options, and people give up on a relationship so easily. I've been in relationships before where I feel like I was given up on. And, Anna and I, we have real challenges. I mean, just the distance alone, but we have cultural, religious differences. And I wanted to show people that if we can fight and make this work through all the challenges that we have, then maybe that would hopefully inspire or motivate somebody out there. I don't know if that happened, but hope that was the agenda.
Your answer makes, I have other questions, but I'm going to jump to the other question because you're talking about the visa, the K1, and you found out. I mean, I watched your whole season. I'm just letting you know, I watched the whole thing. This isn't me just here's a few questions. No, I know, Matthew. I got to watch it.
All right.
You found out from the the immigration attorney that, hey, it's going to be a 2-year process to get this visa for her, and you decided to wait to tell her. What was your thinking? Why were you thinking, I need to wait? You kind of talk about it a little bit, but I'd like you to expand.
Right. It was a struggle, because here's the thing: we applied back in January, and when you apply, you apply through for the K1 visa. Through the first part is to send out what's called an I-29F, which is where you get all your documentation and you send it to immigration. You don't know what processing center you're going to go through. Now, my only experience with this was when I served in the Peace Corps. I had a friend who met his fiance in the Peace Corps, and it took them about a year. So that was kind of our frame of reference. So right before, we had planned this trip to Brazil, but literally like right before I leave, I found out from my attorney that, hey, your I-29F got routed through the Texas processing center, and Texas has one of the longest wait periods, of any of the processing centers in the country. So I'm leaving for Brazil, and I'm just like, Anna, is my fiance so looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this, and I'm like, I mean, do I made the decision I thought was best. I didn't want to ruin this whole experience for her. I wanted to kind of wait till we had some kind of one-on-one time to like connect and have that deep conversation. I don't want to just get off the plane and be like, "Hey, it's good to see you. Looking forward to a great vacation. Hey, by the way, the visa might take twice as long as we thought." You know, and it's not something I think you send on a WhatsApp message or a text. I thought that was a real serious conversation, and I made the best decision I thought I could. I mean, I thought I did what I thought was right.
Yeah, I
And
get you.
so yeah,
I will tell you, I think you guys were fun to watch. You were riveting. Your energy was riveting. I liked all the other couples as well. I was fascinated by all of that. This is kind of another. I'm jumping ahead of all the questions. So Ryan and
please.
yeah.
No, you got this.
Okay, good. They're
We'll
the
fill
fill-ins.
Yeah.
No, they're great. They're great. I'm excited to have you. So, did you, have you got to be in communications with the other castmates at all anymore since the end?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've reached out to most of them through Instagram, and I've actually spoken on the phone with a few of them. I can say one thing: season 3 of Love in Paradise, we have some awesome cast members, and you'll have to watch next week is the finale to see which of those cast members love lasts and which one it kind of expires with. But I can say that I've met almost everyone, and they're all really, really,
I love the
really
gay
good
couple.
people.
I was very excited about that too. I thought they were
Yeah.
fascinating. They were older, not the typical gay couple, Twinkie, which is fine. I love them too. But I love that queer representation is on the show. Go TLC. We love you for that. I'm gonna let Ryan ask a question before M. Why am I going to Ryan, who I don't like, but because I know he's gonna botch it.
Oh,
It's a running bit
Thanks.
we have on the show, Matthew, where depending on the show we're covering, we each have our time to shine, dependent on the episode. But Lee and Ryan just have an ongoing feud that comes
Love
on every
that.
Tuesday evening when we record.
I don't understand why we even have this. I don't
It's just always got to be
like
some beef.
it always has to be someone.
No,
it's not going to
never,
be
Emma.
Emma,
Never.
so I guess I'll just take the brunt of it. Yeah, so I mean, obviously with this show, it's an interesting process to find love through through the title 90 days. So
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, what were some of the challenges you faced like during the show with having this time spent to really make this big decision for yourself?
Yeah, so I think the hardest thing is just kind of trying to live our lives when there's cameras pointed at us all the time. You do get used to it, but I think that one of the hardest things is you're not really in control of the content. Like when you do this show, this podcast, I have my own podcast and show as well. We can control it, but when I get to Brazil, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what challenges or conflicts are going to be caught on camera. We just have to go and live our lives and kind of hope for the best, and hope the fans aren't going to be as ruthless as we know that they can't be. But it's just, I think the unpredictability of it was, I think, the biggest challenge, and just try to stay authentic to our story and to ourselves, but try to be entertaining at the same time.
I love that. So Brazil has a lot of like rich culture and really great traditions. So how did like the cultural differences between you and Anna kind of affect your relationship, and maybe that contributed to some of the challenges you experienced throughout the show? Tell us about that.
So yeah, I will tell you, Brazil is a very, very touchy-feely culture, and that's great. But it's just raised in Texas, my whole life. I mean, we can be a little bit, but not like Brazilians. And I think they're just more, a little bit more, like I said, touchy-feely. That they're a little bit loose with the physicality. I remember the first time I visited Brazil, Anna introduced me to one of her friends, and I'm going up for a handshake, and she comes and kisses me on each side of the cheek. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing? My girlfriend's right here, and she's like, no, it's okay, that's what we do here. And they're just, especially, I've had to kind of temper my I not want to say jealousy, but just my cultural expectations. Like when we go to the club or dancing, they're a lot more hands on and a little bit more free willing with the dancing and the twerking and all that stuff. So I had to kind of, all right, this is just how they dance. There's nothing going on here. So but it's just and Anna also is not. I'm a strong person of faith, and Anna's not super religious, and so it's just we just we're raised in two different worlds, and so rectifying that, it's mainly the little things that you don't really ever really think about until they come
Let
up.
me talk about. I'm going to jump in here, the cultural differences, and I'm not trying to spoil any episodes for those who have, but the carnival that you did, and you were in your little wolf costume, and
Yeah.
you got a little. There was some jealousy that was coming out pretty strong, and how did were you surprised that was coming out of you, or where did that come from?
So, okay. So for the most part, I thought I handled myself pretty well. For the most part, we're all out there in Carnival. Everyone's drinking, having a good time. And there were some guys who came up and, were kind of flirting with my fiance, hitting on her, trying to dance with her. And if you watch, like, for the most part, I just kind of let her do her thing, because, she shoots them down. I think that I was prepared to let them talk, and I said, "What am I gonna do? Start an international fight with these 6'5" brick houses who look like they live at the gym?" I'm like, this is not. I work in criminal justice, man. I try to set a good example for the people that I work with. I'm not. So, but one of the things, the moment, and I think this is kind of, you have to understand the context and remember that we were out there for hours, and you saw just a short clip. There was one part where Anna is dancing and this guy walks by, and he actually tries to grab her, and without her consent. And I actually knock his arm away. And as he's walking by, he kind of looks back at me, and that's where you see me say the line, "Hey, what are you looking at? Keep walking." So I don't think that they showed that full kind of scene there, but I was prepared to let them, talk to her all day. But I don't care if it's my fiance, my mom, a friend. You're not going to touch someone without their consent. That in context.
So,
but yeah, I did,
because he did seem like a dick. I'll be honest, just the little bit of TLC, because he was shocked. You're really with him, if that was the same guy, which. I was like, "Shut up, dickhead." I mean, keep moving. That's what I felt. So I was invested. I'm telling you, I was invested in you guys, and and the energy level between. That's the thing you brought up too. She's 27, I think. Is that right? 20 something like that. And you're a little bit older. She's
27,
and she's like,
a little bit.
She's like, I was just thinking about if somebody said to me, "Okay, we just finished that party and you're trying to nap," and it's like, "No, let's go. We're going again." I thought, wow, Red Bull like crazy, I guess.
She was ready to go.
Look, it's not always about age, Lee. I turned 30 this week. I'm still in my 20s, but I need a nap if I'm going out at night. I lost my second gear for partying at 22. It just disappeared. And so it hits different for different people. But Matthew, when you brought up I'm not trying to start any fights with these big 6'5" guys that look like they live in the gym, what that reminded me of is, I don't know if you watch Abbott Elementary, but Principal Ava Coleman says one episode, the key to never getting your ass beat is to never fight anybody who could beat your ass. And I think that is such a valuable life lesson that we all need to make sure we know. What were some of those kind of moments? Like you mentioned that like the full context of what happened there didn't all get caught on camera. How do you feel like your journey has kind of been portrayed on TV, and how have you been able to balance the mental health aspects of being now a public figure on TV?
Yeah, at first I will say that it was a struggle because you have people coming at you just for anything. I mean, people were coming at me for the way I was dressing, the way I was talking, you know, calling me all kinds of names and slurs and saying this, that, the other. And at first it was like I'm a nice guy. I'm kind to people. Like, what is this coming from? This is so unnecessary. I think that I have to remind. Here's the thing. When I'm struggling with something, I always try to take myself outside the situation and say, if my friend was going through this, what advice would I give them? And the advice I would give my friend who is dealing with something like this is remind yourself who you are. My fiance knows who I am. My friends know who I am. My family knows who I am. Most importantly, I know who I am. I'm going to surround myself with those people who care about me and love me. And, you know, I don't respond to like the hurtful or the hateful comments. If people are nice and supportive, I make sure to respond to them and say, thank you. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. But at the end of the day, again, like we film for so long and you see just such a small fraction of everything that goes down. And, you know, of course they're going to put stuff on TV that's TV ready, you know, and that is, we want to see, and then no one's going to see the part where we're walking to the bakery and get a nice Danish and a cup of coffee and we're talking about how nice it is. I mean, we want to see the conflict, right? We want to see the challenge. We want to see what makes it juicy. So, but I know who I am, and the people who love me know who I am, and that's really.
Well, I will tell you, the edit made me know that you two care about each other. I mean, I know, I do think editing a show where the cameras are on all the time, you know, like it was, you know, there's certain things that if I was editing myself for the circle, I'd say, oh, put this on. But I think, Matthew, seriously, there's going to be haters no matter what, but I think most people that are going to watch you two are going to be rooting for you too. I was rooting for you guys. And so I'm all about love. Ask these guys. We're all of us are all about love, except for Ryan. He hates everybody. But sorry, one more dig. For fun.
Yeah.
I loved it. I love it. I can't wait for the finale. I'm excited to watch it.
Appreciate that.
And my fingers are crossed for great things for you guys. And so we'll see. I know you can't tell us, which is wonderful.
We just finished our story yesterday. So last night's episode was the final, I think the final storyline with Anna and myself. So I can tell you that Anna and we're still together. We're still going strong. I'm actually going to go see her in a few weeks.
Happy.
So
nice.
I'm so happy.
I'm really, really excited about that. I got permission from TLC or from my people to say that before I got on the show. Like, can I tell them we're still together?
So
but I appreciate that, and I hope that
she seems lovely. I'm telling you. I think she's good for you because, in my relationship, 35 years in September, Stephen and I, we're not the same. You know, I'm not narcissistic to marry the same person as I am. You know, I would hate me actually.
Right.
So I think that you guys are different, and you know, you have things that are in common, but things that are different. And she pulls things out of you, and you pull things out of her. I think it's wonderful. I love it.
Right.
Love 90 Day Fiancé. I love it. I'm for it.
I appreciate that. I can't say enough good things about her. You know, she makes me a better person. She's the most beautiful soul of anyone I've ever met, and it's just I can't believe that I not only did I find the most wonderful person in the world, but I get to actually call her my fiance. So
go, Emma.
Such
Emma's
an incredible story. I'll toss it back to Emma after this. I'm gonna segue and include some of our promotional things that I need. Such a wonderful story, and make sure you tune in to TLC's 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise to catch all of Matthew and Anna's story, as well as you can find the entirety of this interview on the Ticket to Reality podcast feed, available wherever you get your podcasts, part of the Agents of Fandom podcast network, as well as on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page in full video form. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, ring that little notification bell. It does wonders for us, and we appreciate it. Speaking of podcasting, before I throw it back to Emma, Matthew, why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
So I live stream on an app called Meet Me, and every Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, I host a show called Forgiveness Culture, where we have people from the live community, people that I've just met in real life, who share stories of times that they've forgiven people in their life and how that's made their life better. And the goal of the show is just to kind of promote and advocate for forgiveness. And hopefully people can hear the stories and think that if this person, if he or she can forgive or them, then we can forgive the people in our lives.
Love it too.
I love that.
Love it.
Wow.
What?
Great.
And I by the way, I wasn't just saying that I'm a huge Lee Swift fan. I not only, but I have his book right here as well. All right, I am a big Lee Swift fan.
I love that.
Oh, well, as a big Lee Swift fan, we got to find as many excuses as possible to bring you back here as much as possible. What other types of are you someone who partakes in the reality TV watching, or are you
so
more
much.
of a I don't like to eat where I'm on TV?
That is not the meta.
No.
You don't like to.
I didn't know where I was going, and I thought I was going to find it. I didn't find it.
I do. I work full time and I'm in grad school as well. So I have to be selective with my TV time, but I do. Like, I'm a big, first of all, Circle, probably my favorite show of all time. Love the Love is Blind. Married at First Sight. I was actually almost on Married at First Sight years and years and years ago. So, but yeah, I love it all. The perfect
Wasn't
match,
that
one got me this
Oh
summer.
my god.
Oh,
That was so much fun. I'm like, oh my gosh, these people. They do-si-do with these relationships.
Come back and guest host with us.
I'd get
seriously, be a guest host with some of these shows. It'd be fun.
I would love that,
especially TLC shows. So we can do that.
I would love that.
I mean, I'll warn you in advance, though, to not get you in trouble. We've gone in pretty hard on some of the people, especially on The Perfect Match, who also were from Love is Blind.
The Circle.
We don't necessarily censor ourselves when we're talking about people like Bartiz, and so we don't want to necessarily get too much.
See, and the thing is, I'd probably be like the peacemaker voice of the group.
Oh, we have no filter.
I love that, though. I love that. It's a lot easier when you're not the subject of it, and it's definitely the ease. I didn't mention this earlier, but it's a lot easier when you're the person you love is not the subject of the hate. That's the hardest part. Like, say what you want against me, but leave my fiance. I felt like Will Smith. I was like, leave my fiance's name out of your mouth.
Yeah, I never thought about that part about them attacking her and how that would make you feel. Wow, that would have been pretty heavy, I imagine.
It's worse. Like, and it's because if you watch the way the show is portrayed, I kind of get the brunt of the hate first, and then they start making all these comments how she's only interested in the visa, blah blah blah, which is so not true. And it was just like, it was really, really hard just when you know the truth and all these people are just saying these nasty things against this beautiful, just wonderful soul, and I'm just like, I can't go like Will Smith them all, I had to find out where they, but.
So what advice, kind of going off of that, what advice would you have to anyone considering going on this show or any reality show in general?
Well, just remember, everything that you say and everything that you do is being recorded. So if you bring a medicated sock with you, thinking that there's no way that they're going to put this on TV, why would they? No, that they're going to put it on
bad.
TV.
It didn't look bad. I'm just saying, it didn't look bad.
I never thought they were gonna put that on. I was just putting it on because I was gonna be on my feet all day, and I'm like, I'm just talking with the camera people about this damn sock. And the next thing I know, on episode 5, there it is, right there in my face.
Yeah, that's kind of so I'm a lawyer, and the motto that I've always abided by is never text or email anything that you would want repeated in a deposition, or you wouldn't want repeated in a deposition. So that's kind of that's great advice.
Yeah, and you live your life like that. Don't say or do anything
absolutely.
that you'd be ashamed of later, anyways.
Yeah, 100%.
Matthew, as a fan of The Circle, I'm sure you've seen one of our favorite guests that we've had on the podcast, Sam, who won the most recent season of The Circle. I think she had the most embarrassing reality TV confession moment I've ever seen, where she admitted that what was it? She
pooped
in a bathtub.
Yeah, pooped in a bathtub.
I heard about that.
I was like,
I pumped it too.
I literally had the thought, I can't be getting this right in my head right now. I have to be exaggerating this in my head because there's no way that's what it was, right? And then you guys remembered the same thing, so that confirmed, oh yeah, no, that wasn't a fever dream.
Yeah,
I saw that, and I was, I think, in a little bit You know what though? The cojones on her to come out and say it, admit it, and own it. Not too many. I'll tell you, if I did something like that, ain't nobody but God gonna know that I did that. Okay, so I have a lot of respect for her.
The FBI wouldn't get it out of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Shout out to Sam Carmona, winner of season 5 of The Circle. We've had her on twice on the podcast. Absolutely adore her. She keeps it real, just like we like to try and keep it real on here. And like we mentioned, we'll go in on people if we think they're not the best people. And Matthew got nothing, absolutely no reason to do that with you. You're truly wonderful, and it's such it's so awesome to hear that things are kind of continuing to go well. And we were worried about maybe avoiding some kind of spoilery stuff just in case, but now that we know that you got the chance to talk about it, I'm so thankful to hear, because I
appreciate that.
We love.
Yeah, I can't spoil the other couple stuff because they still have storylines going on. First reason, I'm not allowed to. Second reason, I don't know what happened. So I couldn't spoil it if I wanted to. I have no idea what's going on with them. But we wrapped up this yesterday on the 26th. So
love it.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Before we get out of here, I just want to thank you again so much for joining us. And like we said, if you want to come as a guest, as a host, whatever the heck you want, we would love to have you absolutely anytime. Before we get out of here, is there, maybe after all this time in the limelight, you don't even want people to follow you on socials, but do you have a social you want people to find you at? Or if not, where can they find the pod?
I do. My Instagram is @MatthewGoesLive. I'm also, if people want to catch my live streaming content, a lot of people DM me about that, asking where my live streams are. It's on an app called Meet Me. You just search for Matthew. I'm the number 1 person named Matthew on the app. But yeah, I go live at least for my show, and I try to go live throughout the week when I can. Probably have a lot more time when I'm done with grad school. But yeah, definitely follow me. I'd love that. I always try to spread motivational, and I always try to put a smile on people's face at the end of the day.
Well, you've certainly put a smile on our faces, so thank you so much.
And when he ends, because I can tell TJ's in the wrapping it up, just hang on for a little bit after we turn it off, because I want to say something to you. That's secretive, everybody. You're not going to get to know.
He always does this. He always teases.
Why do you do that, Lee?
It's always such a tease where it's like, ooh, we got the on-camera conversation, and we got the off-camera conversation.
You know, what I want to say is I'll never complain about, what happened on the show, but they never, come here, Sabah. I want to show my dog. They never showed my dog on the show, and I never got to show her, and she's like the most, amazing dog in the world, and they never showed my Angel on the show.
Look at her. Oh, hello.
So sweet. We love dog appearances on the show, and it's
Yes.
we got dogs who show up, cats who show up, and it's more reason to make sure you're not only listening to us in podcast form, but watching on YouTube in video form as well, because who wouldn't want to see cute little
Exactly.
animals while they're listening to breakdowns of their favorite reality TV content. Matthew, thank you so much
Thank you.
for joining us today. You can find this up on the Agents of Fandom YouTube page and on the Ticket to Reality podcast feed, as well as we'll be posting it all over the Agents of Fandom and Ticket to Reality socials. On behalf of myself, Emma, Ryan, Lee, thank you so much for joining us, Matthew. Make sure you're checking out 90 Day Fiancé. Oh my gosh, my brain is just going absolutely
Love
crazy.
in Paradise.
Love in
I
Paradise.
just about said make sure you check out 90 Day Fiancé Ticket to Reality, and I was just like, well, maybe I shouldn't actually advertise us as part of the show, because that's not
That
real.
may be one of the spin-offs. They have like 8 or 9 spin-offs, so there may be a 90 Day Fiancé Ticket to Reality. I'm not sure.
This is me pitching to TLC in case you want us to be the official podcast of the show.
Exactly.
Make sure
I
you
love
check
that.
out 90 Day Fiancé Love in Paradise on TLC. Matthew and Anna's story came to a conclusion on the show on Monday, June 26th. And of course, there's still more episodes airing as well. So make sure you check that out. And we thank all of you for tuning in. We will see you next week talking some Bachelorette as well as more Ultimatum Queer Love. Talk to you later. Peace.